Young plans to decline his $48.97 million player option for the 2027 season. He will become a free agent technically on Monday, sources told Anscape's Mark Spears. Washington remains the front runner for the four-time All-Star, but multiple teams are expected to have interest in the guard who appeared in only 15 games for the Wizards. Obviously, he was with the Hawks last season. So it sounds like he's going to stay with the Wizards. The question now is, can Trae Young lead a championship team? Marcus?
Lead a championship team is bold, I would say. If he goes back to Washington, I don't think they have a chance as him being the lead guy. I think that if he was on a team that had some guys, maybe he was the second or third option, I think they probably will have a better chance. But as a leader of the team and a guy that they're putting the winning on, the being the captain, being like a Jalen Brunson-esque type of player, I don't see that. But I definitely see if he had great pieces around. You know, they kind of dibble and dab with him going to San Antonio when he was in Atlanta. They was talking about pairing him with Wemby. I think if that was the case, we might be having a different conversation. But with the Washington Wizards and the way they're going to be constructed, with whatever draft pick they choose, the camaraderie won't be there. You're still going to have a really young team. He's going to be the older player. If Anthony Davis stay, he won't. But that Wizard team, I don't think he can get them to the championship. Now, if we dial back and there was a swap between him and Fox, I think it's a possibility just because of the system. You have another great player beside you that's now, you know, been there, been to the top of the mountain and seen what it was and seen what he needs to get back with those young pieces. I think they have a chance if that was the situation. But as a Wizard, I don't think they have a chance of getting, you know, being
a couple of things to get out the way.
Type of conversation.
Couple of things to get out of the way. Marcus is a lot nicer than I'm going to be. Nobody but Jesus can get the Wizards to the finals. Let's get that out the way. It's called divine intervention. You got to pray. Ain't nobody getting the Wizards no damn finals. Let's just stop that nonsense right now, okay? And Trae Young ain't gonna do it. You done it. Damn it, Jalen Brunson wouldn't do it. Nobody can do it. It's the Wizards, all right? They need prayer. They need prayer. But we hope for them, and we're, you know, I'm gonna talk to them in the very near future because I want to give the organization a chance. Don't want to be too damn harsh on them. But my God, you talk about the nation's capital being the cesspool. I got news for you. It ain't just because of the damn politics. It's because of that damn basketball team that's giving you nothing to cheer for in years. Let's get that out the way right now. But I wish them well because I ain't rooting against them because I like coming to watch them for some basketball games because the fans deserve better than a product that they've gotten. Having said that, Trae Young, the brother can play. It's really, really tricky with them because I think the answer to this question is no. He can't lead a team to the championship, lead you to be in the championship team. But the numbers don't say so. Since 2018, 2019, he's averaged 25 a game. He's averaging 9.8 assists a game in his career, third only behind Magic Johnson and John Stockton. I mean, when you look at his numbers, 43% shooting from the field is not awful. You look at him and you know that he's a big game performer. If all of his games was in Madison Square Garden, he'd be destined as a first ballot Hall of Famer because we know what he does when he shows up to the Garden. But it takes more than your ability to score, to lead. And that is the question that Trae Young has to realize about himself right now. We know he can handle. We know he can shoot. We know he can score. We know he belongs on the NBA level. But the Atlanta Hawks got rid of you and they were better without you. And you only played about 15 games last year. And when you were playing, even though you were putting up numbers, you were more of a liability than an asset because of what you brought to the defensive side of the ball. And clearly what you brought as a leader, which wasn't much. And so when you look at it from that standpoint, there's a lot to be said about that. I like Trae Young. I believe in his skill set, but you know, you hear about in terms of his representation, it's involving his family, and you know, you're going from one agency to another. You can't seem to make up your mind about stuff. You know, you're perceived as having a higher, loftier view of yourself than others have of you, which can impede your ability to lead. I don't know how fair that is, but he needs to understand that's what people are saying about him in NBA circles. That's why I'm saying it. I'm not telling you I feel this way. I'm not telling you I know it. I'm telling you that I'm saying it on national television for the purposes of Trae Young and his camp to understand that's the word that's out about you in NBA circles. And something needs to be done to address that. particularly when you're looking for a bag that's going to get you 45, 50, 55 million a year. When most people in the NBA are looking at you and saying, nah, Stephen A., he ain't worth more than 30 to 35. These are the kind of things that they're saying he needs to know. They emanate from somewhere. He has something to do with that. And that has to change when you're talking about whether or not he can truly lead a championship team.
When you think about Trae Young and you just look at the numbers, like you said, his number is off the charts, right? You watch him as a basketball player, but also he has been given the ball since he stepped in the league with Atlanta. I think they had one good playoff run when they beat the Knicks in the playoffs, I think 2 years ago, right? But other than that, I mean, it's been, I would call them bottomless stats because you're scoring, but they're not translating to wins. Right now in Trae Young's career, he is at best a third best player on the championship team. None of us has seen Trae Young play without the ball. It's easy to play with the ball when you're getting 30 shots a game, and the 43% kind of tells you like he's shooting a lot and having that many assists and all those things. So my whole thing is, no, he can't lead a team. He's not the second best player on the championship team, might be the third best, but what type of player will he be if he was the third best player? Because all we know is the Trae Young that's had the ball his entire career.
Okay, Trae Young only played 5 games with the Wizards. They were winless, so they did not win any game when he played for the Wizards this year. I feel like there's a lot of places that they need to go if they want to be at the championship caliber. I did hear Trae Young go on a podcast, I don't know if it was his or someone else's, and he essentially said, look out for the Wizards. They could potentially be the best team in the East next year. So.
What? He said that?
He did say that. Yes, he went on a podcast.
Lord.
Yes, he did say that. I think that would probably require some free agency and maybe some, obviously, a number one overall pick.
There's no way in the first year.
But he believes in these Wizards.
Well, that's the second person that comes across as a bit hyperbolic out of the nation's capital. Now, apparently isn't just one person. Now it's 2. Okay.
He actually said it on the pivot with our dear friend
man, he's confident.
In January, when Trae Young was traded to the Wizards, it was an understanding that the Wizards would be giving him a brand new contract this offseason. It was part of the reason that Trae Young didn't make a peep about getting shut down, basically, for all but 5 games after the trade. It was all part of a tanking strategy. The Wizards lost 26 of their last 27 games, put their franchise point guard on the bench, and ended up getting the number 1 pick. And now they will return their side of the bargain by giving him a lucrative new contract. Maybe he takes a meeting or 2 for appearance's sake, but he will be back with the Wizards, likely on a 3-year deal.
And then, speaking of the Wizards, they have the number 1 pick in the draft. This is not one of those years where that's a foregone conclusion. So what do we know or what do we expect as far as the top of the draft is concerned?
Greeny, everybody is doing their job here. I am in the information business, and I cannot tell you who I think the Wizards will take with the number 1 pick next Tuesday night. They have held their cards close. Maybe they have their mind made up, maybe they don't, but the league does not know whether it's going to be A.J. Debonsa or Darren Peterson. Now, the real intrigue comes with the number 2 pick, because the Jazz have done the same. From what I understand, talking to executives around the league, there is at least some question about whether the Jazz would consider taking Cam Boozer out of Duke with that number 2 pick, no matter who the Wizards selected number 1. And I'm always cautious when Danny Ainge is